Hey everyone, I just want to mention that our Discord server is looking pretty awesome right now. I put a lot of time into it the past few weeks and I think it's offering quite a lot of value. So definitely check that out for any upcoming campaigns, late pledges, or tabletop simulator links. And now let's continue with our usual programming. Board game brothers and sisters, let's check out the Kickstarters. The first campaign we have launches on the 25th and it's called Mob Big Apple. And this plays 2 players and takes about 30 to 45 minutes to play. And this is a game that's based in New York City in the 1920s during Prohibition. And in this game, each player is a mob boss, head of their own organized crime syndicate. And this is a game primarily focused on area control, and all the different locations are going to be laid out on the main board. On a player's turn, they get to roll 2 dice, and then they get to decide how they want to execute those results. The results of the die are going to determine how many henchmen you can deploy and which location that you can interact with. There's the main board I already mentioned, but then there's also the action board. And this is going to allow players to perform different actions like loading up their henchmen in cars and driving them to different locations, loading crates of contraband, or fighting dirty to expose moles, tip off the DA, or send your rivals to go sleep with the fishes. This sequence of events is all going to repeat until both players have played their last henchman, and then that triggers the end of the round. This triggers a battle on each location where the surviving henchmen get to take control of the contraband in that area. And I feel kind of bad for announcing this so early in the video, but this one's going to be my pick of the week. And I don't have any set way that I make my picks, but usually it's because I think it's a game that my viewers will like, or because this game or campaign is doing something a little bit different, or it's because I think they're doing a really great job instilling confidence in their campaign. And I think this one hits all 3 of those. The game was designed by Stephen Finn, who also created games like Biblios, Herbaceous, and Cosmic Run. And he tends to make lighter games, and I think this will fit in that category, but it looks like it might be a little meatier than the games I just mentioned. And I think that's also reflected with the more serious theme that this game has. And I do want to mention that this is a re-implementation of one of his earlier designs that was called Capo di Capi, and I don't usually make second editions my pick of the week, but I also think that this one fully embodies what a re-implementation should be because it looks like it plays completely different than the original, and I can only assume that the feedback and lessons learned from the original design would help make this iteration something that's maybe a little bit more streamlined and concentrated on the areas that were the most fun. To understand the scope of the changes, I'm just going to contrast the different mechanisms that each of these games had. The original focused more on area control, dice rolling, push your luck, and take that. And while this new one also focuses on area control, it pretty much scraps all those other mechanisms and replaces them with worker placement and dice movement with different dice. And although I can appreciate a second edition for those games that I know and love, there usually isn't too much different in those games compared to the original. So I really like to see re-implementations like this where the designer continued to iterate and improve on an original design, so much so that it's bringing a completely different game to the table that won't replace the original game if that's something that you already have in your collection. And I think that also gives a lot of confidence in the development of this game. One thing I will caution you against is that this is a smaller game, and smaller games just in general tend to offer less incentive to back on Kickstarter opposed to buying at retail. This is something I'll be going into more detail with in a video in the future, but for now, if this is a game you're interested in, you may just want to see what sort of incentive they're offering you to back now opposed to buying in retail later. And the next campaign, also launching on the 25th, is called Human Punishment: The Beginning. And this plays 3 to 6 players and takes about 120 to 180 minutes to play. And this is a standalone prequel to the game Human Punishment: Social Deduction 2.0. And that game takes place in a dystopian cyberpunk world where humans are fighting against machines during a machine uprising and revolution. This is a semi-cooperative game that offers a few different factions, and players don't know who's on their team and who's their enemy. This new prequel is also semi-cooperative and focuses on social deduction and pick up and deliver. Each round an event's going to occur that's going to modify the state of the game, and it's also going to create an opportunity for every player to get involved. Each player has their own personal resource deck of 30 cards, which is going to allow that player to perform different actions like combat and defense, and they'll also be able to spend these cards for votes and to deal with different events in the game. Players are also going to be placing tokens as they explore the board in order to perform some special actions and also reveal different information to the players. Although this is a standalone game, it comes with a system that allows you to combine it with the existing Social Deduction 2.0 version of the game. Some other mechanisms that this game has is dice rolling, hand management, set collection, variable player powers, and voting. And the next campaign's launching on the 26th, and it's called Cryptid Cafe. And this plays 2 to 6 players, but it also says on their campaign page that it'll play solo, and it takes about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And in this game, players are lead servers of a Sasquatch-owned restaurant deep in the Rocky Mountains. This game focuses primarily on worker placement, and throughout the game, different cryptid creatures are going to come to the restaurant to get served. Players are going to want to serve their customers the fastest because with each round, that customer is going to get less and less satisfied with the service, eventually leaving or leaving less of a tip. tip. Spaces are limited and food stations are breaking down as you compete against the other servers to get the most tips. Each of you are going to be depending on the same chef to prepare customer orders, so you may want to share just a little of your tips with the chef to help get your orders out first. And this game also uses mechanisms like area majority, contracts, events, once per game abilities, and take that. And the next campaign also launches on the 26th, and it's called Zodiac War, and this plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. This is a game that uses a rotating board to tie together different astrological themes like zodiac signs and aligning of the planets. The goal of this game is to light up your constellation, and you do that by managing a few different resources. First, you have your tarot cards, which are used to rotate the board, and then you have faith, which is a type of currency in the game, and then you have the star crystals, which are the endgame trigger of the game, and the first player to get 3 of those wins the game. On a player's turn, the first thing you're going to do is draw a zodiac card, and this is going to tell you what planet entered your sign. This can bring you good or bad omens in the game. Next, you're going to be spending tarot cards to rotate the board in an attempt to try and align different elements and planets with your sun sign. Depending on how well you do this, you gain faith, which can buy you more tarot cards, or if you get a perfect alignment, you can even gain some more star crystals. Different tarot cards have different game effects, so you may want to be selective with the ones that you play. This game also features variable player powers, and the individual player cards have some pretty awesome artwork with some really great action poses. This game looks like it does a really great job of tying in the theme, which is sometimes a challenge for abstract strategy games. And if you're interested to see how that rotating board actually works, I definitely recommend checking out the campaign. And you may want to go ahead and click for that notification because this one will be offering an early bird. And I just want to take a second here and mention that if you like nice things and you also like this sort of content, you can actually help support the channel while still getting something nice for yourself. KickstartedGames.com offers a wide selection of games, and a small percentage of any purchases made there will come back and help this channel. And if you're looking to make some room on your shelf for all those campaigns that you backed last year, KickstartedGames.com also buys games, and it's for this reason as well that they also occasionally offer Kickstarted deluxe versions of board games. If you want to be the first to know about those, definitely sign up to their newsletter, and this comes with a nice little perk because they do a board game giveaway every month, and all you have to do is be subscribed to be entered in that contest. And the next campaign launching on the 26th is called Puzzle Masters the Octonauts, and this one's more of a children's puzzle game rather than a board game, so I'm just going to sort of glaze over this one. And this is a game that comes with 3 main components: a board, an app, and a bunch of polyomino shapes. The polyominoes are going to come in a few different colors, and the player needs to fit those colors into the same color that's outlined on the board. This creates a little bit of a puzzle because you'll have to find the right set of blocks to fit into that space. Completing the puzzle frees different animals that you'll be able to see within the app. I'm sure the app will offer a lot of other features as well, but if this is something your little one or a niece or nephew would enjoy, definitely check it out. And the next campaign launching on the 26th is called Radlands, and this plays 2 players and takes about 10 to 30 minutes to play. And this is actually published by Roxley, which if you're unfamiliar with them, you've probably heard some of the games that they've published. This includes games like Santorini, Brass Birmingham, Dice Throne, and Steampunk Rally. They always have really nice productions, so you can definitely look forward to that. And I'm pretty sure Steampunk Rally was their previous campaign, and that had a very reasonable price tag, which is something I say pretty rarely when it comes to Kickstarters. And Radlands is a competitive dueling card game where players are leaders of rival clans. The main resource in this game is water, and you're going to be spending it to perform different actions and enabling different cards. Unlike a lot of other dueling card games, each player in this game is actually drawing cards from the same deck. Each card can either be played on the table for a certain effect, or it can be discarded for an alternative effect. I don't have too much info on this one yet, but it's one I'm excited about and I'll definitely be checking out. This does look like a smaller game, and like I said before, smaller games don't usually offer as much incentive to back them on Kickstarter, so this is one I'll likely end up buying in retail. And the next campaign on the 26th is called Reload, and this plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 60 minutes to play. And this game has an interesting theme where mega corporations are spending trillions of dollars developing cybernetically enhanced clone soldiers for off-world exploration. In order to fund these expensive developments, they've also partnered with media broadcasters who film competitions on the training grounds and broadcast it to the world. And I don't have too much information on the actual gameplay, but you're going to be rolling dice and engaging in a battle royale experience, playing different actions and exploring the island while fighting for fame and fortune. And launching on the 27th, we have Summon Skate, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 1 to 4 hours to play. And in this game, you're a figure skater, but not the type you're thinking of, because you're going to be skating some complex magical diagrams to summon gods and creatures to fight against horrible monsters in a high-speed tactical battle. Each game is going to be divided into 2 main parts. The first part focuses more on puzzle solving and investigation, as you're going to be investigating areas in the city to piece together the true nature of the chaos manifesting there. Once this mystery is solved, the chaos there manifests itself into a physical form, and this is where the battle begins. This is a cooperative game where players are going to be fighting together on a grid, and they're going to be spending their movement points in order to skate different diagrams in order to summon the figure that matches that diagram. These figures are the primary means of fighting, guarding, and healing in the game. While players are doing all this to try and defeat the enemy is going to be fighting back either by attacking players directly or by trying to destroy the grid that the players are playing on. If all players run out of health or if the grid is destroyed, they lose the game. And that's it for campaigns this week, but don't leave yet because I got a giveaway to announce, and all you have to do to enter is leave a comment down below. And this giveaway is for a Euro that I've had my eye on, and it's called Pingyao for his Chinese banks. And this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 60 to 90 minutes to play. And this is a medium weight Euro game where players assume the role of Chinese merchants in the blossoming age of banking. Players recruit managers to oversee their agencies, which also grant them some powerful abilities. You can invest earned cash for interest, or you can offer loans to gain government favors and fame. This game uses dice as workers that you'll be placing out on the board to perform various actions, and this game also has some interesting mechanisms for when you're placing dice on spaces that already have opponent dice in that space. I really love the artwork for this game, and it's got some amazing reviews on BGG, and also has some really nice quotes on the campaign page. And this giveaway is for the Pingyao First Chinese Banks Pledge, which comes with 1 copy of the core game and all unlocked stretch goals. To enter this giveaway, just leave a comment down below with the hashtag Pingyao, and maybe just let us know of a favorite movie or series of yours that takes place in China. For me, I just watched the first and second Ip Man movies, and dude, they're good. Good luck, and now let's draw the winners for last week's contest. And the first one I'm going to draw for is the Make 100 Fantasy Maps Locations Pledge. And I use this fancy application here to draw a winner, and all these extra names down here are bonus entries for my Patreon subscribers. If you like this sort of content, definitely check that out because it's the best way to support the channel, and also gets you some nice perks like these bonus entries and also access to some exclusive channels in the Discord. And with that said, let's go ahead and grab the comments and draw a winner. And our winner is Katya Howitson, and that's pretty awesome because if you don't know Katya, she's actually the one that makes the board game mosaics that I display at the end of each of these videos. She was also kind enough to support me on my Patreon, so it makes me pretty happy to see her name get drawn. Plus, she's really creative, so I'm super interested to see what sort of building she designs to get drawn on the fantasy map. And the next giveaway was for the FallenLand pledge, so let's go ahead and draw those comments and see who the winner is. And our winner is Taco Pizza Bob, and that's a name that just always makes me laugh, but this is another one of my Patreon subscribers, so congratulations. I'll reach out to you and let you know you won yourself a pledge for FallenLand. And that's it for this week. Until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full. And also come say hi on Discord. I'll leave a link in the description below. Ciao.